Susan Wattswell joining me now from Washington is Justin Wilson of the Center for Consumer Freedom. And here in the studio is Dr. Asim Malhotra, a cardiologist who's been outspoken on obesity. First of all, Dr. Malhotra, do you agree with the thesis that essentially unhealthy junk food is addictive?
Well, I'm sure that, well, as your report has shown, I think there's definitely a science that suggests that sugar in particular is not only toxic but acts on the brain in a way that drives appetite and stops us from feeling full. Whether that's objective, we need more data on that, but certainly there is a theory that this could be true.
And when you look at some of the patients that you see, and you obviously see clinically obese people, but you see people with heart problems and so forth who are not obese, is there a correlation between their lifestyle in terms of the food they eat and how they are presenting to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's look at the statistics at the moment, even for children. In this country, 1 in 3 children by the age of 9 are overweight or obese. And more recently, we also discovered that that there are markers of cardiovascular disease in children. There's a study published in the BMJ recently looking at 50,000 children, which showed that children who were overweight or obese had markers of high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and even enlarged hearts. This is certainly related to the diet.
In that case, Justin Wilson, if the food companies won't regulate themselves, does there need to be some form of regulation about content of food?
Well, let's be clear. This debate about food addiction is ridiculous. You know, we're addicted to food. It's true. It's called hunger. And if you try to go cold turkey, good luck. You're not going to survive it. And really and truly, if salt and sugar are these addictive substances, that would make my grandmother the Pablo Escobar of food addiction, you know, with the cookies that she used to make. And so I reject wholesale this notion that in one way or another, Americans or anyone in the world cannot tell the difference between a banana and a banana split. And if someone's trying to tell me that we need to sue a potato chip manufacturer, or I guess a crisp manufacturer, for making something that people somehow thought was healthy, I mean, come on. People know that a potato chip is a snack that is not to be enjoyed in large quantities.
I think we're missing the point a little bit.
I'm not missing the point at all.
If we move away from the addiction aspect, we know that what people choose to eat is determined more by the promotional information that food companies put on their products.
Yeah, all natural.
Not objective information about the nutritional content. We know that, for example, there are cereals out there that are marketed marketed as being full of vitamins, for example. They're loaded with sugar and salt. This is not allowing people to make informed decisions.
Julian Wilson, these words, evaporated cane juice. Now, why not just call it sugar? Evaporated cane juice sounds like it's something special, something that's good for you.
Well, you know, with the evaporated cane juice argument, and I think it's an interesting one, and one I've been following closely, because I think it represents 1% and it is a problem. But you know who doesn't make a claim about their food? Ice cream manufacturers. There's not a label on the front of ice cream that says the calcium in this milk makes your bones strong. No one makes those claims about the vast majority of foods that I guess are being deemed unhealthy or obesogenic. And so that's not the problem here. And fundamentally, I guess I don't understand at what point we decided it was okay for the government to determine how much we're allowed to weigh.
Well,
the bottom line here, I don't think, is a point the government should be able to make.
Even though it has an impact on the healthcare system?
Well, we have 2 different healthcare systems, but I'll speak to both of them. In the UK, yes, it is true that everyone pays for each other's bad behaviors, but obesity is only one of many bad behaviors that actually contribute to increasing healthcare costs. So why is it the one that regulators seem to think is allowing them to be regulating it? And I think to a certain extent, and I really do, I've talked to a lot of these people, is you have a lot of people looking down their nose at people who are overweight saying, I know what's best for you. I'm going to protect you from yourself. And that's paternalistic, and it's just disgusting.
But Dr. Malhotra, you were in favour of the traffic light system that one of the big supermarkets backed, and of course it didn't come in. Do you think that would have made a noticeable difference? And presumably Julian Wilson would have wanted that.
Absolutely. There's strong evidence that suggests that traffic light systems make it easier for people to interpret what they're eating and also encourage them to make healthier choices. But not only that, if we have a traffic light system that displays the levels of sugar, salt and saturated fat within foods, it will also encourage the food companies to reformulate their products and make them healthier.
Well, wouldn't that be a positive way forward, Julian Wilson?
Well, you know, the traffic light system, to a certain extent, we already have it. And it seems like we're trying to force more and more information, and I think we have a good balance. If you want to know what's in your food, it's on the back, and it's clear, whether it's in the United States, in the UK, or anywhere else in Europe. And at the same time, you know, we live in this culture of warning labels and lawsuits. and we're going to get to a point where we have to put a little bit of responsibility on the consumer. Like I said before, it doesn't take a PhD in nutrition to tell the difference between a banana and a banana split. And if someone is trying to parse the difference between these two things and trying to eke out an extra calorie or two savings, then they're not trying to lose weight. And what we're losing track of here is we're not actually trying to encourage people to lose weight with these policies.
Thank you very much. The stream of allegations of child sex abuse by Jimmy Savile continues on an almost daily basis. The BBC has ordered 3 separate independent investigations into claims that some of the assaults took place on its premises. But tonight